Hi, and welcome to Seer of the Times. This is part 2 of Finding Egypt. Now, in the last video I did, we focused on Isaiah 19, where it talks about the Red Sea or the Nile drying up in these end times. And then we also focused on Exodus 13, where it talked about the Israelites. When God led them out of Israel, it says he could have led them through a shorter way up to the promised land, but the Philistines lived there. And there in the footnotes it says the shorter way was through a road that leads from Egypt up to the promised land, up by way of going through Megiddo. And so in the Middle East, there is no such thing. And it says that God could have led them through this area, but because he didn't want them to get attacked by the Philistines, he led them through the desert instead. In the Middle East, you can only go through the desert to go into what they call the promised land, which is not the biblical location, but this is what we're showing. So today we're going to I'm going to share a little bit more of my trip through the original biblical location of Egypt and how it's all hidden in plain sight. I shared in another video of how it used to be called Ramses, and Ramses means from the meadow, and Las Vegas means from the meadow. And then also that the Nile was Egypt's 90% main water source, and that the Colorado River, which Colorado means red and it's known for its river reeds, is Las Vegas' 90% water source. And I covered a lot of this in some other videos referring to Egypt. But today I'm going to share a little bit of my trip, of what I saw, and how everything in Las Vegas is Egyptian and it's hidden in plain sight. You have the pyramid that's called the Luxor Hotel. You have the Sphinx out front. You have the obelisk that is out and it has all kinds of Egyptian hieroglyphics in it. The Mandalay Hotel has all kinds of hieroglyphics etched in the buildings. And then there's another area that's just nothing but Egyptian stuff. And then when I was driving around the city, I didn't go down the strip because I had no interest in going down the strip. But when I was traveling through the city later, because the Bible says that there would be 5 Egyptian cities that speak Hebrew in these last days. And in the Middle East, Egypt, and what they call Egypt today, Hebrew is not one of the languages spoken. Then Isaiah 19 also talks about how there'd be a good road, a highway that leads from Egypt up to Assyria. And the Egyptians and the Assyrians would travel back and forth together and worship God together, and Israel would join the two. Well, today that highway is called Highway 15. It is one good road, a good road, or a highway. And it leads from Nevada all the way up to where Assyria used to be, on the border of Montana and Canada. And it goes directly through what is called Utah today. But as I've pointed out in other videos, in Hebrew, they do not pronounce the J's, they pronounce it as Y's. So therefore, Judah becomes Utah, which is Utah today, called Utah today. And so there's only one highway, and it runs right through the middle, the valley that's on the east side of the Dead Sea, also known as the Great Salt Sea, which today they call the Salt Lake, where Megiddo is, or Megiddo. And it means Traveler's Valley. And there's 2 mountains there that are Megiddo through. Megiddo means to cut through, to expose, to invade. And the mountains have been cut in half with the valley running right down through there. And then on the east side of it, just like the Bible says, is a 1,000,000 square foot facility called the NSA. And GOG means rooftops and global discussion. And the NSA listens in on your global discussions. And this, I did another video on this, finding Megiddo, in another video. So you have to go find those videos that I've done on this. But today we're going to focus on how Las Vegas, everything in Las Vegas, is Egyptian, hidden in plain sight. The color of Egypt was gold. There's gold everywhere. They had some other colors, and those colors are used throughout Las Vegas. The Bible also said, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, how about 5 Hebrew cities five Egyptian cities speak in Hebrew, and one of them would be called City of the Sun. Well, there are 5 cities in Nevada that teach Hebrew, and you can learn Hebrew in Winnemucca, Carlson City, Reno, Tahoe State Line, and then you also have learn Hebrew in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is known as City of the Sun. And in Henderson alone, there are over 70,000 Jews. So today we're going to focus on the video that I took while I was there, and you can see how everything looks Egyptian. They've got, even on Google Maps when I was driving, they have green patches here and there, but they're all in the shape of snakes, and Egypt was big on snakes. They were also big on, well, it's not a salamander, it's kind of like a gecko or a lizard, okay? And when you're driving down the roads, the highways, and in the sound barriers, they have lizards. They have snakes. And that's all right there, hidden in plain sight. So I just want to share a little bit with you today from my trip, showing you how Las Vegas is Egypt, a portion of Egypt, but the part that the Israelites were in before Pharaoh let them go. I'm going to share with you today how things, look, it's Egyptian, hidden in plain sight. And there was one more thing as well, and I shared this in another video, of how the Bible says that not only would 5 Egyptian cities speak Hebrew, but it says in the heart of Egypt would be an altar, and on the border a shrine. On the inside, an altar to God, and on the border a shrine to the Lord. And I showed in that video how in the heart of Las Vegas, right across the road from the Luxor Hotel, is an altar, a place called Holy Redeemer. And on the inside is the altar, and on the outside is the shrine. In the Middle East, there is no such thing. So, and there's no city called City of the Sun either. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. See you in the next video. Pyramids. Look at that. Square, 4 sides, and then a point. how rusted they are. Because they're old, but they're real. Amazing what God will lead you to and show you.